Chosen one, listen carefully. This message will change your life forever. If you are hearing this right now, it is no accident. God Himself has led you here. There is something you are doing, something you may not even realize, that is blocking His plan for your life. And He is calling you to stop. Now, you have been praying for breakthroughs. You have been asking God for answers. And now, He is responding. But His message is clear. Before He can move, you must let go of what is holding you back. Do not ignore this moment. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine warning. God is watching, and He sees the weight that is slowing you down. He sees the distractions, the temptations, the choices that are keeping you from the destiny He has set before you. You have asked, God, when will my blessing come? Why am I still waiting? And today, He is giving you the answer. Your own actions are blocking His plan. And if you do not stop now, you risk delaying the breakthrough He has already prepared for you. But here is the good news. It is not too late. God's mercy is greater than your mistakes. His plan is still in motion. And the moment you recognize what is standing in your way and make the choice to stop, everything will begin to shift. Chosen one, will you listen? Will you open your heart? Because what you do next will determine whether you step into the abundance God has promised, or whether you remain stuck where you are. Stay with me, because by the time this message is over, you will know exactly what you must do to unlock the next chapter of your life. Chosen one, you have been waiting for a sign, and this is it. God has seen your struggles. He has heard your prayers. He knows the desires of your heart. But there is something standing in the way, something you may not even realize is blocking your blessing. God's plan for your life is already written. It is set in motion. Every opportunity, every breakthrough, every promise, it is all waiting for you. But right now, your own actions are preventing you from stepping into what God has prepared. You may be praying for change while still holding on to the very things keeping you stuck. You ask, God, why haven't I seen my breakthrough? But deep down, you already know the answer. He has told you to let go, but you have refused to listen. You have been trapped in cycles of doubt, fear, and bad habits. You have been entertaining distractions, chasing after things that pull you away from His purpose. You have been ignoring His voice, convincing yourself that you can walk in divine favor while still clinging to the patterns of your past. But it does not work that way. God will not pour new blessings into a life that refuses to change. You cannot step into the next season while holding on to the weight of the old one. And right now, God is calling you to stop, to surrender, to remove every obstacle that is blocking His plan. What is it for you? What has God been whispering to your spirit, telling you to let go? Is it a toxic relationship? A habit that drains your energy? A mindset of fear and lack? Or are you simply ignoring His voice, telling yourself that you will obey later? God is telling you, there is no more time to delay. Every moment you wait, you push your blessing further away. Every time you choose comfort over obedience, you stay in a place you were never meant to remain. But here is the promise. The moment you stop, the moment you release what is blocking you, the floodgates of heaven will open. God is ready. Your breakthrough is prepared. But the question is, are you ready to receive it? Because everything hinges on this decision. Chosen one, the time has come to break free. You have felt it deep in your spirit, a restlessness, a frustration, a knowing that something is keeping you from stepping fully into what God has for you. This is not your imagination. It is divine conviction. God has been trying to reach you, trying to show you that your next season is waiting, but you must be willing to release the things that are keeping you bound. You have prayed for change, but have you truly prepared yourself to receive it? Because God will not pour new blessings into a heart that refuses to change. Think about the Israelites. They were freed from Egypt, yet they still carried a mindset of bondage. They had left their chains behind, but their actions, their fears, their complaining, and their doubts kept them wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. Do not let that be your story. God is ready to take you into the promised land of your purpose, but you cannot carry Egypt with you. You must stop doubting when He calls you forward. Stop clinging to things He told you to release. Stop telling yourself that you can do things your own way and still expect His favor to follow. This is the battle you are facing right now. The old you wants to hold on, to stay comfortable, to keep doing things the same way, to resist the change God is calling you to. But the new you, the one who is stepping into divine abundance, must break free. Because right now, your delay is costing you. Every day you wait, you miss out on the favor, the opportunities, and the breakthroughs that are already aligned in your future. You are standing in the doorway of your destiny, but something is holding you back. God is telling you to stop. Stop feeding your fears. Stop running back to what is familiar when He is calling you to something greater. Stop ignoring the small nudges in your spirit telling you that certain people, certain habits, certain choices are no longer meant for you. Your breakthrough is not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. And when you choose to listen, to truly surrender, to stop blocking what He is trying to do, everything will begin to shift. You will feel lighter. You will move with clarity. Doors will open effortlessly. The blessings that once felt so far away will begin to pour into your life. Because when you align with God's plan, there is no struggle, only divine flow. But you must make the decision now. Will you keep blocking your blessing, or will you finally step into what God has for you? Chosen one, your actions are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Every decision you make, every thought you entertain, every habit you continue, they are either aligning you with God's plan or pulling you away from it. And this is where many struggle. You may think that because you pray, because you seek God, because you desire His blessings, that it is enough. But faith without obedience is empty. What are you doing right now that is keeping you from the breakthrough you are asking for? For some, it is a mindset. You speak of faith, but in your heart, you are still consumed by fear. You say you trust God, yet you continue to make decisions based on doubt, worrying about the future, second-guessing His timing, trying to control what He has already promised to handle. But true faith requires action. God is waiting for you to take a step forward, but you cannot move forward while clinging to fear. You must stop feeding the lies that tell you that you are not worthy, not ready, not capable. God has already chosen you. Now it is time for you to act like it. For others, it is the people you surround yourself with. God has been showing you signs, revealing who is meant to walk with you and who is only keeping you stuck. Yet you hesitate. You hold on to friendships, relationships, and connections that do not align with where God is taking you. You allow people into your life who drain your energy, who plant seeds of doubt, who distract you from your calling. And God is saying, stop. Stop letting people pull you away from your destiny. Stop giving your energy to relationships that are not rooted in His purpose. When God is shifting you to a higher level, not everyone can go with you. Do not let misplaced loyalty keep you bound to people God is calling you to release. Do not allow guilt or fear to make you hold on to what is no longer serving you. Some relationships were only meant for a season. Some connections were only meant to teach you a lesson. But if you continue holding on out of comfort, you are blocking the blessings that God is trying to bring into your life. Trust that when God removes someone, He replaces them with better. And for some, it is the habits, the temptations, the distractions that are keeping you from your highest self. You cannot walk in divine favor while entertaining the very things that weaken your spirit. What are you consuming? The words you listen to, the entertainment you indulge in, the things you allow into your mind and heart. Are they feeding your spirit or pulling you away from God? If you continue to engage in things that drain your energy, that fill your mind with negativity, that distract you from your purpose, you will always feel stuck. Because what you feed grows. Feed your faith, and your spirit will thrive. Feed your distractions, and your purpose will suffer. God is calling you to stop entertaining what is keeping you weak. This is a moment of divine correction. He is showing you the areas where you must shift, where you must let go, where you must finally stop standing in your own way. Because if you do not stop now, you will continue delaying the very blessings you have been praying for. But if you listen, if you recognize what God is showing you and surrender to His plan, you will see doors open that no man can shut. The choice is yours. Will you listen? Chosen one, God is waiting on you. The blessings, the breakthroughs, the elevation, they are not being withheld from you. They are already prepared. But right now, your actions, your choices, and your mindset are standing in the way. How long will you delay what God has already set in motion? How many more times will you ask God for confirmation when He has already spoken? How many more nights will you cry out for a breakthrough while still holding on to the very things keeping you stuck? This is the moment of decision. God has already told you what must change. He has already whispered to your spirit, nudged your heart, and sent signs that you cannot ignore. But the longer you wait, the more you prolong your own suffering. Look at your life right now. Where are you struggling? Are your finances in chaos? Are you battling constant stress, fear, or confusion? Do you feel stuck, unable to move forward, watching as others seem to be receiving their blessings while you remain in the same place? God is not the author of confusion. If your life feels stagnant, if your spirit feels heavy, it is a sign that something needs to be released. What has God told you to stop? Is it the habit that drains your time and energy, pulling you away from your purpose? Is it the toxic connection that keeps leading you back into cycles of pain? Or is it your own self-doubt, your refusal to step fully into the calling God has placed on your life? God does not bring His chosen ones into a new season while they are still clinging to the weight of the old one. You cannot carry both. You cannot ask for abundance while operating from a mindset of lack. You cannot pray for divine relationships while entertaining toxic ones. You cannot expect God's favor while continuing to ignore His instructions. You must decide. Do you trust God enough to obey? Do you believe that what He has for you is greater than what you are afraid to let go of? Because this is what it all comes down to: faith or fear. Will you continue to let fear keep you bound to what is familiar? Or will you finally step into faith and trust that God is leading you to something far greater? You cannot ask God to open new doors while keeping your hands full of the past. You must stop. Stop delaying. Stop doubting. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Because the perfect time is now. Every day you hold on to what God has told you to release is another day you postpone your blessing. And the enemy knows this. The longer he can keep you distracted, the longer he can keep you in fear, the longer he can convince you that you are not ready, the more he can delay what God has for you. Do not give him that power, because the moment you take action, the moment you truly surrender, the moment you stop blocking what God is trying to do, everything will begin to shift. Are you ready? Because God is. Chosen one, you are standing at a crossroads. In one direction is the path you have always known, the familiar, the comfortable, the patterns that have kept you bound. It is the place of delay, of stagnation, of waiting for things to change while still holding on to the very things preventing that change. In the other direction is your divine breakthrough, the path where you finally step into the favor, the abundance, and the destiny that God has been calling you toward. But you cannot walk both paths. You cannot ask God to move while refusing to move yourself. You cannot pray for His will to be done while still trying to control the outcome. You cannot step into a new season while clinging to the chains of the old one. And God is saying, it is time to choose. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that if you let go, nothing better will come? That if you release what you have been holding on to, you will be left with nothing? That is the voice of fear, the voice of the enemy, and it is lying to you. Because when God tells you to stop, He is not trying to take something from you. He is trying to prepare you for something greater. Look at the patterns in your life. Look at the things you keep repeating, the cycles that you keep going through. Haven't you had enough? Haven't you felt the weight of staying stuck in the same place, year after year? God did not create you to live in frustration. He did not call you to spend your days chasing things that drain your spirit. He has already prepared a greater life for you, but He will not force you to receive it. You must choose it, and choosing it means stopping everything that is keeping you from it. The relationships that pull you back into old ways of thinking, the distractions that consume your time and energy, the habits that weaken your faith, the thoughts that tell you that you are not good enough, not ready, not worthy. God is calling you to stop, because what is waiting for you is far greater than anything you could imagine. Do you trust Him? Because this is what it all comes down to. Do you trust that if you let go, He will provide something better? Do you trust that if you surrender, He will guide you? Do you trust that if you stop blocking His plan, He will lead you into a life of abundance? Because the moment you do, everything changes. The weight will lift. The delays will break. The struggles you have been fighting against will begin to fade. And suddenly, things will begin to align. You will feel lighter, freer, more connected to your purpose than ever before. The very things you have been praying for will begin to show up in ways you never expected. Because when you stop fighting against God's plan, you finally allow His blessings to flow. This is your moment. What will you do? Chosen one, the time is now. You have been waiting, praying, searching for answers. And today, God has given you one. This is not just another message. This is your moment of divine instruction. Stop delaying. Stop making excuses. Stop pretending you do not hear Him calling you to change. God's plan for your life is already in motion, but it is your obedience that activates it. Right now, heaven is watching. Right now, angels are waiting. Will you obey? Will you listen? Or will you continue walking in circles, holding on to things that no longer serve you, blocking the very blessing you have been asking for? This is your moment of breakthrough. If you are willing to surrender, close your eyes for a moment. Feel it. That weight on your shoulders? It is not meant to be yours. That fear in your heart? It is not from God. That voice telling you that you can wait, that you have more time? That is the enemy's greatest lie. God is not waiting for you to be perfect. He is only waiting for you to trust Him enough to let go, because the second you do, everything shifts. Chains begin to break. Doors begin to open. Favor begins to chase you down. But it begins with you. Make the decision now. Tell God right now, I surrender. I trust you. I will stop blocking what you are trying to do in my life. Say it. Declare it. Because this is not just a message. This is the turning point of your life. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same. Chosen one, everything is shifting. The moment you decide to stop blocking what God is doing in your life, you will feel it. That heavy weight you've carried for so long, the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, it will begin to lift. And as you walk forward in faith, you will begin to see the evidence of His plan unfolding before you. The things that once seemed impossible will start to come together effortlessly. The doors that once refused to open will swing wide. The opportunities you thought had passed you by will reappear in ways you never expected. Because when you step into alignment with God's plan, everything changes. But this is just the beginning. You are stepping into a new season. A season of clarity, of abundance, of divine acceleration. No longer will you feel stuck, confused, or lost. No longer will you question whether God hears your prayers, because you will see His answers everywhere. Your path will become clear. Your spirit will feel lighter, and favor will begin to chase after you, because you have chosen to trust. You have chosen to surrender. You have chosen to stop standing in your own way. And now, God is free to move. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward knowing that you are stepping into everything that was always meant for you. Your life is about to change in ways you cannot even imagine. And when it does, remember this moment, because this was the day that everything began.